Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. Hello, it's Emmy. Welcome back to a retro weenies edition, I suppose. Yes, we're hitting two birds with one stone today. Not only is this a retro recipe, but it contains weenies as well. So this was actually inspired when I was doing my recipe for my crown roast of Frankfurters. That video I just did recently. If you missed it, I'll put the link there and down below. And when I was looking for the recipe for that dish, this image popped up. So this is the Frankfurter Spectacular. It was on the cover of the January 1970 edition of Weight Watchers magazine. And although I did some research, I could not find an exact recipe, but I did find a blog post. So I'm gonna kind of be roughly following that. Basically, this is gonna be a Frankfurter hot dog weenie sculpture. Not really a recipe at all, because basically it consists of some sculpted weenies and fruit salad, basically. So I'm not exactly sure why, but it seems in the 1960s and 70s there was an interest and fascination with pineapple as a fruit. Perhaps it was a time when it was just recently imported and it was kind of considered exotic and special. So today I have myself a pineapple, which we love. We buy pineapple here in my house very regularly. My boys love this fruit, and today I'm going to be covering it with hot dogs. I'm actually getting a little ahead of myself. Before I prepare my pineapple, I am going to cook my franks. So based on the reference picture, the franks in this recipe seem to be a little bit stubbier and fatter. So hence the choice of hot dog I'm using today. It's not always about length, is it? Right, so there are my hot dogs. So for the hot dog, we're gonna do some strategic cutting. We're gonna slice lengthwise all the way through. But we want to preserve the end. You don't want to cut the end with the tip of the hot dog. So there you go, you've got some legs there. I'm going to place these onto our baking tray, and I've got my hot dogs kind of spread out like this. Now I'm going to pop these into the oven and broil them until they curl nicely. All right, be right back. I'm gonna wash my hands because they smell hot doggy. Hot doggy hands, smoky hands. All right. So now we're gonna cut up our pineapple. So typically when I prepare pineapple, I just lop off the top here, which you can actually grow. Did you know that? A pineapple is a bromeliad. You can take this top part of the pineapple, put it in some potting soil, water it, and you'll get yourself a houseplant. Of course, it has to be warm. If you live in a tropical area, you can actually try transplanting it. But this, yeah, you can grow this. A friend of mine actually grew hers for a few years and got a baby pineapple. So stinking cool. Typically I would do that, but for this particular recipe, I want this as part of the decoration. So I'm gonna peel this first and then cut most of the fruit away because I want the core, and that's what I'm gonna build my pineapple sculpture on. So, a little bit different technique today. First things first, I'm gonna cut the bottom off my pineapple. It helps to have a very sharp knife when dealing with pineapple because the skin is very, very tough. And then I'm going to remove the tough outer skin. Now we're going to try to remove these eyes. All these little spots are called the eyes. So I'm going to cut around here and leave the core. Of course, this is all fruit that we can eat. So this is what we want. We want a column of pineapple. Then cut this just into small bite-sized pieces. I love pineapple so much. I eat it until my tongue gets raw. I love it. It's really great for tenderizing meat as well. If you've ever made like Korean barbecue and used pineapple, it's so good. Not only does it lend sweetness and flavor, it makes for very, very tender meat. So tender, in fact, you can't marinate it too long, and if you do, your meat will kind of disintegrate. All right, I hear more sizzling. Let me check on my dogs. Oh boy, look how beautifully they curled. Look at that. Yep. So that was broiled for about 5-8 minutes or so. Now we're gonna get a plate with our pineapple core. Now my core does not want to stand too, my pineapple wants to wobble. I'm gonna help it out by using some of these toothpicks and give it a little bit of a base so it has some feet. Yes, this is some engineering so we have a little bit more structural integrity, because we're going to be decorating this with hot dogs. The last thing we want is a whole tower to come crumbling down. So I've got some fancy cocktail spikes. Now we're going to gently take our cooked Frankfurter and place it onto here. And then take our fancy skewer, poke that right in there. So I put one on that side. I'm going to balance it with another dog on this side. Wow, that's looking amazing already. Balancing it this way is for a couple of reasons. I want this to be symmetrical, and I also want to be balanced. So there's the hot dog sculpture. I'm trying to do this gently because I don't want my hot dogs to break. Okay, this is kind of like those lanterns. You ever make those paper lanterns in like kindergarten? That's what this is remind me of. You know, you do the paper and the construction paper and the blah, blah. Yeah, that's what this is looking like. Yeah, now you're seeing this thing. So now we have enough space for 4 more hot dogs. Wow. This is some recipe. Okay, now we're filling in the blanks. This actually works perfectly. Get the fat hot dogs. All right, last dog right here. Okay. Wowzers. Okay. I love it when a plan comes together, as Hannibal said. Yes, yes, yes. Here we are. This is a very precarious situation, but it's looking great. And now to finish things off, I'm just gonna put the rest of the fruit at the bottom to disguise our, you know, struts. I'm just gonna keep this a tropical tiki party theme and just put all of our pineapple back underneath this. Oh my gosh, this is looking great! I love it, I love it, I love it. It's so kitsch. It's so ridiculously kitsch. I love it. Now I'm just gonna use some parsley, and that makes it just super perfectly kitsch. It's just the parsley. And here it is, the masterpiece, the ultimate pineapple hot dog sculpture. My question is, how would you serve this at a party? I mean, I don't know, I guess you would have a little thing of these. So maybe you would have the fruit skewered like this. And then if you wanted a hot dog, you would have to take the entire Frankfurter? I don't know, I guess like this. See, I think this is just a centerpiece, although it is edible. You don't want to be the one that ruins it all. Okay, I guess that's not too bad. So I got one Frankfurter, and I will grab a couple pineapple pieces as well. All right, not so bad. Let's try the Frankfurter with the pineapple. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Now I have a little confession. I've never had Hawaiian pizza before, you know, the pineapple and ham pizza. I've just never thought it was a natural combination. But this is what I would imagine it tastes like. You've got your smoky hot dog that's been broiled, so it's got a little bit of that caramelized flavor. And that goes really well, actually, with the sweet tropical flavors of the pineapple. I think I understand now. Although now that I think about it, I believe they use canned pineapple on those pizzas, because whenever you see the chunks, they're always like perfectly cut. I much prefer fresh pineapple to canned pineapple. I actually don't like canned pineapple. It's just too sweet, and it has a kind of tinny flavor to it. Fresh pineapple, though, good eats. And it goes well with hot dog. I do think this needs a little bit of bread or some kind of a cracker. The hot dog itself is very salty, and although the pineapple is sweet, it's not really quite enough to kind of balance that out. So a little bit of bread, or maybe mini buns would be so stinking cute. Little mini dogs, mini buns, mini pineapple, give your little mini hot dog. I think it would be great. So if you're gonna have a kitsch 1960s, 70s party, you must make this. This will be the master centerpiece of it all. It's pretty easy to put together. Just get yourself a fresh pineapple and a pack of hot dogs and some fancy toothpicks. Parsley too, because parsley makes it instantly kitsch, and you got yourself a beautiful centerpiece. So there you have it, the January 1970 centerfold of Weight Watchers magazine, the Frankfurter Spectacular. So let me know in the comments if there are any recipes you'd like me to try, retro or otherwise. I hope you guys enjoy that one. I hope you guys learned something. Share this video with your friends, follow me on social media, and I shall see you in my next video. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Pineapple is just delicious. Stubbers.